Right.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that may be listening now on the replay.
Happy Madre. What is it? Dia de la Madre? Mother Day? I don't know.
Sure. it sound like that's right. And if it's not right, it's definitely close.
We try to be, we speak multiple languages over here.
Right.
We speak multiple languages, okay? But yeah, shout out to all the moms. Shout out to the aunties that are moms. Shout out to everybody who's the mother figure of someone. You know, obviously it's not just one day that we celebrate y'all, but this is the day that everybody gets their praise. So hope everyone has had a great Mother's Day. I definitely had a great Mother's Day. I'm a little tired today. I just woke up from a nap. I'm gonna be very honest.
I have the yawn on the entrance. Well, this one shouldn't be super long, honestly, because we know everybody's probably out celebrating and honoring the mother figures of their families. So, and if not, they're definitely watching the game. Okay,
right?
That's what people are probably doing. But this is our first episode back after taking a week off.
Yeah. So essentially, we had to take a week off because I was doing some community work last weekend. I've had the fortunate opportunity to partner with NYCHA, the New York City Housing Authority, and Grow Our Game, which is basically a nonprofit that was started by Shanae Jones, basically servicing young women and young girls to basically learn how to play basketball, essentially. She also introduces and does a lot of the things that, eventually we want to do for our community, college visits, taking them to games, professional games. I'm sure they're going to be at a few Liberty games this summer.
Very nice.
So she does all that. It's a lot of enrichment and stuff like that. So they hired me to come on and do some health and wellness workshops. So I had the opportunity to do that last weekend, and it'll be for about 8 weeks, but I'll be participating in half of those weeks. So yeah, that's what we were doing last week while we couldn't have our show, because I was, out there giving health advice to the parents and the young student athletes. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that this summer, essentially. So as always, welcome. Right.
Like,
we just spoke about Grow Our Game. Hey. All right, so welcome. As always, thank you for we just really appreciate and show much gratitude to everyone who tunes in every weekend, every Sunday at 7. But essentially, my name is Wellness Brit, and this is my lovely co-host.
Okay.
And together we make up 21 Titles, which is basically a consultancy firm creating equity through community and collaboration. I think really the crux of what we're trying to do is expose, educate, and empower the next generation of student athletes. So essentially, we like to introduce student athletes to things that we weren't privy to basically experience as our student athlete selves, right? So we're very big into professional and personal development. What does your life look like post sports or while you're in sports? How are you setting up that foundation for when you're done? So we love to talk about the landscape of NIL, name, image, and likeness, since legislation has been passed for student athletes to have the opportunity to monetize themselves now. So we love to talk about that. A lot is happening around that. Introducing them to technology. We're very heavy into blockchain technology and what that looks like for the young student athletes and how they can utilize that to their advantage and use that as a tool to basically increase their NIL, right? The NIL opportunities. And we also talk about, so that kind of encompasses Web3 and, I guess the next iteration of the internet, if you want to say in its simplest form. And then kind of like business of culture and also just women's sports, because we're both former collegiate athletes and we think that not just women's basketball, but women's sports in general is really on a crescendo. So just want to kind of highlight women doing miraculous things in that realm. So welcome to our show. We kind of use this to just keep our audience in the know of all those things I just mentioned, and yeah, we love being with y'all every Sunday too. So
yeah,
that's it. And yeah, to start off, it's kind of with some sports news. I guess everybody's been waiting for this, right? Like we've been waiting for Bronny James to kind of give us his decision. What is his decision going to look like? Is he going to college? Is he not going to college? So basically, he announced that he will be going to USC on the West Coast. So yeah. And Dennis Rodman's son is going to USC.
So he also announced that he was going to be transferring this week. So, I mean, we talked about how a lot of these schools and universities are now like creating like super teams.
Right.
In a way. And like we've been watching it now for the last few months. As y'all may know, the transfer portal is, I believe it has already closed.
Yes.
And so, we've been seeing a lot of like big transfers happening in the last few weeks. And yeah, so this was, I guess, like the last push. So yeah, Dennis Rodman's son will also be joining Bronny James over at USC. They have a couple of other great players that are also over there. So very interested in seeing how Bronny plays during his first year, along with, all the other great players on USC. It's just going to be a very interesting year of just basketball, of college basketball, both on the men's side and on the women's side. And I'm very excited, even though it just ended. Like, it just ended, but very interested to see how everybody meshes and adjusts. And,
Yeah, USC, they, on the men and women's side, obviously, we've reported Juju Watkins is going to USC.
Yes.
And, yeah, it's just going to be very exciting watching college basketball next year.
It is.
Like,
it is.
I'm ready. I'm ready to watch some college basketball right now.
Right.
Obviously, the NBA is going on right now, and then the WNBA starts on Friday, which is pretty fast, right? Like we just covered the draft.
Yeah, we talked about how there's really no, for lack of better words, off season for these women to kind of like rest or even really prepare for the next level.
Right.
So yeah, the WNBA season is here, but yeah, next year college basketball about to be crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So shout out to college basketball. Shout out to Bronny finally making his decision. And the way he kind of made his decision was really, really dope, right? Like he had the little animated cartoon kind of, which was really kind of unique, essentially. So I think that was really, really dope. Like he's kind of like playing a video game of himself and trying to, you know how you make a character or create a character. He basically had the different teams that were basically vetting him, trying to figure it out. And then obviously it was very fire. Y'all could just go to his profile on IG and just watch it. But
this is with announcing, right? Even high schoolers going to college, like it was like
y'all better be blessed that y'all getting these opportunities to announce like this, because when I signed to college, it was in
it may be in the daily newspaper,
right? It was in the news. I got a chance to talk to Christy Ackert, blah, blah, blah. You got a little short segment on Daily News, but I didn't have like a big to do. Like it was no reporters. It was me at home with my family, basically signing that paper and being happy. But now it's like a whole, which I love, because you know you want to celebrate the student athlete. Like that's a big deal. You're going to college for free. So shout out to all the student athletes getting the opportunity to celebrate their next level. So I think that's really pretty dope. Right. Moving on. So the Big 12 is to play games across the board as soon as 2024.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, which is fire. Like again, this is just the growth, We're watching the growth of college basketball, and we're seeing that these young men and women are now, kind of like they're moving out of amateurism.
Right.
It's there, but it's not. Yeah, MySpace about it. That's mad funny. He said MySpace. Yes. Remember MySpace? But yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Big 12, they plan on entering into a multi-year agreement to play regular season football and men's basketball games in Mexico in 2024. Some cities that they've been looking at is Monterrey and Mexico City. And there are future plans to add women's basketball, women's soccer, and women's baseball. And baseball.
Wow.
Kansas and incoming Big 12 member Houston have been targeted as a potential preferred matchup for Mexico City, which would be crazy. That would be a great game. No dates or teams have been finalized. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark, has been inspired by the international success of the MLB, NFL, and NBA, all of which have played games in Mexico. So that's crazy.
Expansion.
Right? Like, as a college athlete, you get the opportunity to travel to other countries. Excuse the dog in the background. I know you hear this dog. Welcome to New York City.
Welcome to New York City.
But this is enhancing the game, right? This is enhancing experiences so that when these young men and women, they get older, they remember these amazing memories of being able to hoop in Mexico. Is crazy. That's awesome. Major opportunities, right? Like, I don't think we would have ever thought that this would even be a thing,
right?
Collegiate level.
Yeah,
that's different.
No, it's starting to become a thing because I know well, my husband, he went to the University of Pittsburgh, and I know that this upcoming summer they're gonna be traveling to Spain. You know, like they in the past, I think they've went to like Italy for like a for open. So this is gonna become more and more common as you know, like we said, college basketball just continues to expand. When I was in college, I had a chance to go to the U.S. Virgin Islands. So you know, even though that's not like international in Europe, it's still
that's still another place outside.
Right, like we still had the opportunity to do that, and that I will to this day I remember going, you know, like to this day. So it's and it was a beautiful experience. Like, you know, being from New York, you don't get to see clear blue water. We got the Hudson, right? Like we all know what's floating in the Hudson. Like it's not the best of the best things over there. So I think when I went to Virgin Islands, that was the first time I've seen like clear blue water that looked like Gatorade, yo. Like I was enamored, you know.
Yeah.
We went snorkeling. That was the first time I went snorkeling. Like got to see a big turtle like in the water, 200 years old, just like floating around. I'm like, nah, this can't be real. Like this is
but those are experiences that you remember. And now with the NIL, this also is going to open up, you know, just another range of like potential fans and opportunities to these young men and women.
Right.
So expanding their reach
right.
to different places.
Right.
But now they won't be able to just monetize here. They'll be able to monetize in different places. So that's something else to keep in mind, which I think is really cool as well.
Facts.
This is amazing. Like
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing like where else these kids get an opportunity to go, because like obviously the opportunities are endless at this point. Because we're also seeing that a larger influx of more international players coming over here, right? Like and playing collegiately. So it just kind of makes sense, you know. The reason why Pittsburgh is going to Spain is because they have twin brothers who are from Spain playing on the team. So it just makes sense to kind of go to their, you know, country and they get a chance to, you know, show people where they're from, you know. So this is a marvelous opportunity. Mexico, and you know, Mexico got great food. Like I'm just excited about the food, like for them, you know, like let me get some of that mole. Like, let me come on. We here. You feel me? Like I'm trying to get to Mexico. I want some food. All right, but moving along. Obviously, I know it's Knicks tape, so it's Knicks tape over here. Our beloved Knicks did not advance. But I just want to say to everybody, it's no longer Julius Randle's team. He's done. All right? It's done. You're done, Julius. And everybody can send this to him, whoever knows him. It is now Jalen Brunson's team.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Brunson has come in and is doing work. All right?
That's a fact.
So I just want to say the Knicks, y'all better in this offseason, better be putting some pieces around him.
I'm sure they will.
Because this is that.
At the cry face. I'm not, listen, I can't, I'm not a avid Knick watcher. My father is, a lot of people around me are. But like the Knicks will cause you to toss your TV. That's what I've been saying now for the past few days.
Right.
But yeah, Jalen Brunson on the flip side, like you mentioned, Jalen Brunson really he carried. Had to get damn near 40 piece every game. But yeah, he did what he was supposed to do. He stepped up.
Obviously, my son is.
Yes.
What are you doing, Papa?
It's that I stopped even. Why are you looking at me?
All right. Bye bye.
What is this?
That's my old tape. I'm sorry, y'all, but yeah, I know Ray always gotta make an appearance or do something. Where's Daddy?
He went with Mr. Alex.
Oh my God. Don't hold on 1 second, y'all.
My daddy outside with Mr. Alex.
All right, and you gonna be outside.
Yep, I have to protect my peace, right? Oh man. But yeah, while we wait for Brittany to come back, yeah, I mean Jalen Brunson really stepped up. Mr. Ray, I don't know if you in here, but you know, your Knicks, they did what they could with the pieces they have. And hopefully, like Brittany said, they can build around Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry about that, y'all.
No, you're fine. We just talking about, I brought up Jalen Brunson again, and hopefully the Knicks can build around him. But he did carry the team.
No, absolutely did.
Nobody was really stepping up on the offensive side, on the offensive end. And I'm really shocked that the Knicks went this far doing this way. I'm not gonna lie. Like they you know.
Yeah. This is what we do.
Shouts to the Knicks. Still forgetting far. Y'all got a lot further than a lot of people imagine, and
yeah.
Y'all need a few missing pieces, and I think that once y'all get those, y'all will be pretty solid.
Yeah, man. I'm just
wait from getting to the finals. That's great.
Yeah, for them, for the Knicks, yes.
It's been a long time.
Right. Yep. We got to protect our peace over here as Knicks fans. It's a fact.
By not watching, that's how I protect it. Because this is. I'd be angry texting Brittany like.
Yeah, all the time.
I can't watch them because they make you upset.
Yes.
Shouts to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can we say?
They got to rise out of the city. A lot of people, what do we need? GM, right? That's a fact. Yes.
What do we need? We need a big man because Mitchell Robinson can't hit free throws. He can't hit. He can't hit a 15-footer. We need another big man.
Shooters
like
RJ Barrett.
He's a tweak. RJ
Barrett needs to work on he just needs to get to work this summer. Yeah. He needs to work.
He do. I don't know. He be making some real idiotic plays sometimes, and I just kind of shake my head.
He needs to go watch film because he needs to go watch film. Are you laughing at me?
Yes.
Oh, I think he does need because I think that'll help. I think watching film also builds or increases your basketball IQ level. You have to watch yourself, and you have to watch other people. You got to watch plays. So I don't know if he watches film, but he needs to. I have a feeling he doesn't watch enough. I'm not being funny.
No, Dad, we're gonna have you come on here and give us a breakdown, your analysis of all the pieces that the Knicks needs to succeed. And your dad too, Shantae, Mr. Pearl.
It's gonna be on a long time.
Avid Knicks fans, okay? Die hard. But moving along, have y'all heard of pickleball?
Wait, did you Hoop Dreams comment? See,
Knicks should make a move towards Joel. Interesting. Let me just say this too today, like watching Joel, I'm sure the Celtics won today, right? Like they won. because I went to sleep at the beginning of the fourth quarter because they were smacking them. Okay, but I'm gonna say this: Joel Embiid is terrible on the block. He's terrible. That's what because I've been wondering all day. I'm like, why does Doc Rivers? I've been wondering all day, why does Doc Rivers have Joel Embiid at the top of the key? Like he usually gets the ball at the top of the key or at the top of the free throw line and he makes his move and, he goes to the basket. But today I seen he don't get on the block because he's a liability on the block. He don't know how to pass out the block. He don't know how to make a move out the block. And every time he got the ball on the block, he turned the ball over today. And I was just like, this is marvelous.
Yeah, I ain't watched today.
This is miraculous. So he got to get that. He got to get that part of his game up. I can't.
Trey Randall.
How you a big? Yeah, Trey Randall. Get him out of here. Like he gotta do better with that. So I was kind of, yeah. And I feel bad for Doc Rivers too, because Monty Williams just got fired from the Phoenix Suns as the coach. And it's like, I mean, he's been probably the most winningest coach since 2021, essentially. So I feel like Doc Rivers is gonna be on the hot seat.
I think so too.
But yeah, we got a lot of moves to make. We got to do something because we need something. Okay, like I can't waste away Jalen Brunson's great years. Okay, like let's do better, Knicks. And I don't even think Tom Thibodeau's the coach because that dude don't know how to make adjustments. Like he go with the same people over and over and over and over. Give me somebody else. Okay, give me someone else. Like I was just so upset seeing Derrick Rose rot on the bench. Like I know he old, but
that's what my dad said. My dad was like, "Yo."
I don't know. But yeah, go Knicks. We gonna come back to y'all.
I'm just being sarcastic, personally.
Pickleball.
Pickleball, yeah. My mom be watching that.
Pickleball?
She be watching that. It's like racquetball, but like with two people.
Okay.
Yeah, with actual people. Two people on with a tennis. It looks like a tennis. It's similar to like a tennis court.
Got a paddle, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, well, we loving to see what's going on with athletes becoming entrepreneurs and investing because we always talk about that. So Haley Jones, who was a WNBA rookie, and two-time WNBA champion Drew Lloyd are the newest Major League Pickleball co-owners. The league announced on Thursday. That is pretty fire to be an owner of a league. The duo joins tennis star Naomi Osaka as MLP's only active female athlete owners.
Yeah.
Fire. Okay.
Really, so like they're getting it really early with ownership of these teams.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they said pickleball is by far one of the fastest growing sports in the U.S. According to data released recently by the SFIA. Other owners in the league are LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Heidi Klum, Ava Longoria, Mark Cuban. Oh, wow. So
these are big teams. Like, these are people that are really invested in pickleball. So,
yeah. I think that's pretty exciting. I got to watch a match. I mean, I already like tennis. So if it's similar to tennis, then I'm sure. it's gonna be something that's exciting.
I saw my mom watch. I was like, "What is this?" And she was watching it like late night. Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously, there's a lot of potential in this arena, which is why a lot of like A-list celebrities and athletes are investing in it. And yeah, Jones said being one of the women owners in the league and one of the first WNBA presidencies is really special, and it gives me time to be a part of it from this growing level, and start to learn and put my 2 cents in. It allows me to grow my portfolio and think long term where I want to be when I'm done with my basketball career. Is it similar to netball? I don't know what netball. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what netball is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with netball.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But just think a lower scale tennis with a paddle.
But it's a big, like they're holding the paddle and they're like running around as if it is tennis.
Okay. How big is the ball?
That's a good question. I don't know. I only watched it once. I'm not going to sit here and be.
Okay. Well, that's. I mean, I gotta catch a game, but yeah, pickleball. Y'all gonna be hearing more about pickleball, obviously, as it's growing. But yeah, shout out to Haley Jones and Drew Lloyd for investing and adding to their portfolios, because that's really
what it's about.
at the end of the day, like we've been talking about how investing is like an integral part of how you grow your money, essentially. So happy to see those young ladies, especially like being a WNBA rookie. Haley Jones, she's coming in, and we see where her mind is at. So like that's phenomenal. Yeah.
It has to be there for those young women.
Yeah. So shout out to pickleball. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Last thing in sports news, Coach K has been hired as a special advisor to basketball operations for the NBA.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah. So like, he's had a very long journey with coaching, at Duke, and then the USA basketball men's national team. So he's been doing this for a very long time. So obviously he is like a trusted advisor anyway. He's been a trusted advisor for a very long time. So this just feels like it kind of just came about naturally. And so this week, he was appointed a special advisor to basketball operations, and in his new role, he's going to provide counsel to the league office, NBA team executives, and other leaders across the league on a host of issues related to the game. He will begin in this consulting capacity by attending a meeting of NBA general managers this week in Chicago. So very interested in just seeing and learning more about his position and how his 2 cents and experience really plays a part in how these executives kind of maneuver, and how he's adding value to the league. So I think this is a really big deal, and it just goes to show that if you do a great job in one place, you'll end up in another. He's obviously in the same arena, just in a different type of role. Right. So I'm just happy to see he probably can sit down and sit at home anyway, even though he's done coaching college basketball. Like, I feel like it's very hard for people to do that if you've been doing that for a very long time.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is great that he's like of counsel. Like he's just counseling and consulting. So that's cool.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach K. I mean, he's one of the coaches that can really, I guess, influence other people, essentially, especially players. He has a great connection with them. So this just gives his stamp on just how great of a coach and great of a just a, I guess, advisor he is. Like the NBA is entrusting him to help them make decisions,
Yeah.
essentially move forward. So it's like a senior executive kind of like position, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like senior management. So
Yeah.
shout out to Coach K. And rolling on to NIL news, which is like obviously some of our favorite news because obviously we would have loved this opportunity as collegiate athletes to monetize off our name, image, and likeness. But there is a new Missouri NIL law that allows high schoolers to get paid as soon as they sign with in-state schools.
Yeah. So it's very similar to, we talked about like Arkansas, we talked about Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so this Missouri law kind of follows suit with that. It's just now, at one point, high schoolers in Missouri were not able to monetize their name, image, and likeness, and now they will be able to because Missouri passed the House bill, and the House bill is named House Bill 417. And according to the bill, coaches and school officials would be allowed to attend meetings between student athletes and a third party where NIL compensation is negotiated. There's other language in the bill that says that conferences in the NCAA shall not penalize the school as a result of an athlete receiving NIL money. Basically, this bill really puts the student athlete in a great place to not lose their ability to play or any years in playing.
Right.
It makes it hard for them to break any rules, which is to their advantage, which is great. Most importantly, though, the state's revised NIL law allows high school recruits to enter into NIL deals and start earning endorsement money as soon as they sign with an in-state college, pending Parsons, which is the governor's signature, in the coming weeks. Yeah, so they won't lose eligibility. It makes it very hard for them to lose eligibility now in Missouri. And it's just going to be interesting to see how many more states just roll on in, and create these bills and have them passed. And how the NCAA will react to these bills in these different states.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Missouri. I think that this is going to even the playing field, too, with the colleges in Missouri.
Yeah, giving them an opportunity, right? Like, you stay in state.
That's what that's about. Like,
bingo.
Stay here. Like,
right.
We want to stay here after high school, and this is going to really, hopefully, push these young athletes to stay in state because they'll be able to make money
there. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Well, I mean, we reported how Oklahoma said,
Yeah, which is they really thought rather that was going to pass, and then the government was like, "Yeah, nah, I have other responsibilities. I made previous promises, and I'm gonna get around to that, but I got to handle some things, other things."
Right. So he's like, nah. So we just gonna keep track of how many states continue to kind of like execute on their own bills and try to push this forward because it's about progress, and obviously the NIL space is gonna refine itself out. Like so yeah. Moving along, Andy Dalton is executing an NIL deal with every TCU athlete with the launch of My NIL Pay. Okay. Yeah. So the CEO of My NIL Pay, Brett Chapman, launched his company on Thursday, allowing fans to easily tip their favorite college player at any time. In return for the payment, the company will produce a digital collectible item featuring the athlete's signature to send to the buyer. Okay. All right. So you tip them and then they send you a collectible.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's pretty cool. As a former chief information officer for 2 financial companies, Chapman has brought on former NFL head coach Marvin Lewis and women's basketball star Nancy Lieberman to sit on my NLP's board. Those are 2 great names.
Right.
Marvin Lewis used to be the coach of the Indianapolis Colts. I remember that. And Nancy Lieberman is actually she's a coach on one of the Big 3 teams.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. The app does include a fee to deliver funds, with athletes receiving 90% of the transaction and the company retaining 4%. Businesses can also send sponsorship requests through the platform. I like that 90%. That's pretty nice.
It is.
While my NIL Pay is introduced to college athletic sphere, the company already has a major donor lined up. Former TCU star and Carolina Panthers quarterback Andy Dalton has committed to sending direct payments to more than 450 Horned Frog athletes. Wow. That's a big deal. That's basically every active player, every active student athlete.
That's right.
Along with his wife Jordan, the Daltons will spend more than 5 figures on the activation. Hey, alumni! That's that. Okay, Andy Dalton.
That's how you do it.
Like, look here. If anything, we always talking about networking and building relationships, and how is that going to help you in your career post sports? Andy Dalton, this is a big move, bro. Like, I'm really hyped to see that he's leading the way with this, because it usually takes one person to kind of set the standard and move this along, right? So this is commendable by Andy Dalton to get this rolling. So I'm very happy to see that. Because look, at the end of the day, we talk about how everybody's not going to have an opportunity to get NIL deals, right? Like, everybody is not, let's just, for simplicity purposes, him or her, right? Everybody's not that, right? So everybody's not going to have an opportunity to capitalize off these things. So the fact that they're giving every student athlete at the university an opportunity to, make a little change for themselves, that speaks volumes. Okay. Right. So I like that. My NIL Pay. I'm looking forward to seeing how they move and kind of expand with this. So shout out to Brett Chapman for starting that, and then also just I'm enamored, because this is a big deal. Like, we always talk about how there should be some type of pipeline from like alumni to students. So this is great. This is great. This is great. I wonder if Austin can get Jamie Dixon on the line, because that's his former coach. He's now the coach at TCU for the men's basketball team, and see talk about how this is helping his student athletes. So fire.
It is fire.
Rolling right along. This was a student athlete who was another big kind of transfer portal guy. Like, people were really wondering what Hunter Dickinson was going to do once he entered the transfer portal. He is previously from Michigan. So and now he's made his decision to transfer to Kansas. So essentially, Hunter Dickinson implied that NIL was a big factor in him transferring to Kansas. Dickinson, an Associated Press All-American honorable mention. He averaged 18.5 points and 9 rebounds per game as a junior at Michigan last season. He basically said
he was catching a lot of flack this week.
Right.
He's catching a lot of flack and kept it real. But go ahead, please tell the people what.
he basically said he told his critics that he would also make a move for a pay raise during his appearance on the Round Ball podcast. So basically, he said he was like, the people who are hating on me would leave their job right now for a $10,000 increase. He's like, at Michigan, I got less than six figures. And you know, he just wanted another opportunity to make money. I mean, at this point, nobody says anything to coaches making changes in their position. You going from a head coach to from an assistant coach to a head coach, that's a pay increase, right? Like, we're leaving these institutions and nobody has anything to say to the coaches, but like, you know, when it's the players, you know, it's kind of like a double standard. Like, y'all.
I mean, no news, so I think people are still wrapping their head around the fact that, you know, student athletes can actually do this.
Yeah.
And it's very funny. His comment was just funny.
Yeah, y'all hating. Why y'all hating? Like, get out of here. Look, I can understand why people are saying this. Like, yo, you acting like a prima donna and you in college. It's not like you are a professional athlete, like, yet. But
I'm trying to myself up. I'm trying to put myself in the best position possible.
Right. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm trying to see these student athletes get to the bag. All right.
No.
And if he produces at Kansas this season, y'all ain't got nothing to say to him.
He left a sour taste in their mouth. So, because I read, like, you know, obviously, rest in peace to those who may have passed away from the shooting at Michigan.
Right.
I guess the game following that horrific incident, he wore a ski mask. And so, a lot of the fans were like, I still like to say he just left a bad taste in Michigan's mouths. Oh, like, he already was leaving a bad taste, and then for him to transfer, like, it just added an extra layer of, like, hate, if that makes sense. Like,
right. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, long story less long. Very interested to see how he does over at Kansas. He's not the only player that's doing this. There's a lot of student athletes that are looking for better opportunities. I am interested in knowing how they're leaving. I think that's what I would like. If I could do anything, it would be, I wish we could interview a student athlete to know the conversations that they had upon leaving.
Right.
How that conversation, how does that sound? And then what does that look like?
Right.
I'm going to know the ends of that, how that goes, how that looks. But yeah. Yeah.
People gotta stop.
Yeah, they do.
They do. Y'all gotta stop.
They'll be all right.
Hunter Dickinson, go get your bag. Okay?
That's what he went to do. He said,
go get your bag, but make sure you show up next season. That's all I gotta say.
You have to show up.
You better be working, bro. Better be working this off season. But all right. Rolling. Obviously, McDonald's. We know McDonald's is a big kind of like partner in just like high school basketball. Obviously, we all know the McDonald's All-American game, right? So it just makes sense that McDonald's incorporates NIL into the mix with student athletes. So more than 45 college athletes have participated in a recent marketing campaign for McDonald's franchises located in and around the ACC or the Atlantic Coast Conference, using their name, image, and likeness rights. So Duke guard Jeremy Roach has headlined the NIL campaign that promoted the My McDonald's Rewards Program, a limited time only frozen cola. And
y'all, let me tell you something. It's taking everything for Brittany to finish these sentences.
This is a fact. Oh God, frozen cola. Wow.
Not for me. Rewards program.
Right, like rewards programs are A1. Like I love a good rewards program. And the McDonald's mobile order and pay feature. Okay. The athletes involved in the campaign attend ACC member schools such as North Carolina State, and Virginia Tech, and historically black colleges or universities such as Alabama A&M and Fisk University. Thank y'all for including the HBCUs because y'all be hating on HBCUs sometimes, okay? The sports marketing agency Post Game facilitated the agreements between the McDonald's franchise owners and the participating athletes. Post Game co-founder and CEO Bill Jula previously told On3 there are more than 60,000 college student athletes who have signed up for the platform, which has an open network rather than a contractual agreements with specific schools or conferences. Okay. Through their agency, they find athletes that are relevant in those markets. And so it's all based on where those physical McDonald's are located in all of those markets. Post-game co-founder Danny Morrissey, a former student athlete himself at Penn State, said in a phone interview. Obviously, they want to democratize the access and be very inclusive to different groups. Obviously, HBCUs being a part of that, so that was part of it. But also, there's a McDonald's near or on those campuses, and that's from a business standpoint. One of the reasons why they're tapping into that as well. Yeah, I mean, them big arches is everywhere. Okay, they everywhere. There's no way you can stop McDonald's. So like, obviously, I know I really despise fast food, and the goal is to get kids to eat more healthy options. But yeah, McDonald's partnering, that's a big deal.
No, that is a big deal.
That's a real big deal. So shout out to these athletes.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. Right. Hey, Coy.
What up, Coy? And our last story for NIL, the White Sox signed 8 athletes. They add to Chi Sox athlete NIL roster. Okay, what's that about, Roxanne?
So the MLB announced last Wednesday that it had signed 8 new college athletes to contracts as part of its hit Chicago Sox athlete NIL program. The initiative was created to empower student athletes, their voices and careers both on and off the field, which I thought was fire. Sticking to its roots, each student athlete the White Sox signed has ties to the Windy City. The second wave of Chi Sox, that's what I'm going to call it, athletes includes several student athletes, all from Illinois. And the club also announced 2022 student athletes AJ Henning, formerly at Michigan. I'm not even about to. Yeah. And several other student athletes to return to the NIL roster. No baseball or softball players were signed as MLB and NCAA guidelines prohibit certain sports from engaging in deals with their professional counterparts. As part of the deal, the athletes have branding opportunities with financial incentives for social media promotion. The organization plans on welcoming them to a game in a private suite. They'll also have access to professional resources and career. I think that is the most important thing.
Right.
White Sox. And while you're there, you get access to professional resources and career mentorship from the White Sox front office.
That's a big deal.
It is. Other perks include a professional photo shoot, which, many student athletes do need in college. Like, in college, we ain't really have, the opportunity to see professional photos and stuff like that. So I think this is great. And, they get a custom White Sox jersey. merchandise, like special merchandise, special opportunities at the ballpark, such as throwing out the first pitch. But like I said, I think the most important is the professional resources and career mentorship. A lot of the times, in college, at least for me, we all had to have an internship or complete an internship before you graduate. And just having the opportunity to potentially reach out to the White Sox to either intern or like get that, experience that you may need after school is like a college person's dream, like anybody's dream, right? Like interning or having like access to the White Sox front office is crazy. So I think this is a great opportunity for these student athletes, and it, provides a lot of value, which is also important because they are going to be extracting value from these student athletes. So I think this is a great way for them. It's like, it's an equal relationship. It's a give and take relationship. So yeah, I thought this was a great opportunity.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, access to professionals at any level, like that's a big deal. Like we're over here talking about networking and building relationships all the time. Like you never know when what you learn is going to help you. In your after sports career. Like even if you do become a professional athlete, like this still helps tremendously, essentially, in your growth as a person, and just growing your portfolio, right? Like we always say this, like we have to learn how to invest and have these conversations in our communities when we talk about being financially literate, essentially,
right.
And just being business savvy, like it's like student athletes are the perfect people to be entrepreneurs and be, business savvy spokespeople, because we juggle so many things, so it just kind of makes sense. So I'm interested to seeing how that continues to develop, essentially. So shout out to the Chicago White Sox, which is also like a very big, well-established Major League Baseball club, so that's pretty fire. I'm looking forward to it. But that was our last article for NIL. It's 8:00. You guys been with us for an hour now. We're going to try to keep this rolling. We'll keep y'all here between, we usually do 90-minute segments, so probably got about half hour left, but got some tech, NFT, Web3 news for you guys, and then we'll finish with some music and business of culture news. So we all know Twitter has gone to the slums since Elon Musk has taken over. It's just been a lot of drama going on. So this past week, Elon Musk has announced that he's appointing CEO with a new Twitter. I mean, Twitter with a new CEO. I'm bugging. But ex-NBC Universal Advertising executive Linda Yaccarino will take over as the CEO of Twitter. Obviously, we know Musk is a very seasoned entrepreneur. He's, the founder of Tesla, SpaceX, and all these different things. Said a day prior that he plans to transition to a role as an executive chairman and a CTO, so Chief Technology Officer. This announcement comes months after Musk pledged in December to step down as the head of Twitter as soon as he found someone foolish enough to take the job. But that's quite exciting that he's actually hiring a woman to.
I think it's just a powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. He's yes, it's great. She's a woman.
Right. I mean, she's established herself, right? Like she's worked at NBC Universal for nearly 12 years,
Mm.
rising through the executive ranks to become chairman of global advertising and partnerships in 2020. She also oversaw an international team of about 2,000 employees. So she knows how to be a leader of people.
Yeah, but the truth though, that's a little bit unexpected. That's a fact, and I'm here. See, I have to do my due diligence, but I've been seeing people say that, she also, believes in like restriction of freedom of speech. She wants to, yeah. So there's, obviously there's always more to the story. This is all a big PR party.
Okay. This is the PR play.
The PR is, yeah. I mean, I guess more will be revealed. We'll see what happens. Twitter is not, the Twitter we've grown to love.
Right.
But I am interested in seeing what she does now that she is the CEO. And, Elon Musk is no fool. Yes, of course it's a woman, and I'm happy. Yeah, shouts to her and right.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
They definitely have
changed, and we're gonna see how this ultimately how this goes. But
all right, Twitter. We're gonna see. I'm gonna see if this Yacarino see what you about. Okay, because obviously Elon, he does his research, so he's picking someone.
Yeah, he's not foolish.
That aligns with his values. So
right.
All right. Moving on from Twitter, Amazon. They got an NFT marketplace dropping tomorrow.
Right, we reported on this a few months ago. They were scheduled to release this a few months ago, but things are changing. I'm sure that they want to make sure
they get it right.
This is our assumption. We don't have no insider information. Just want to leave with that. But yeah, it's supposed to be launching tomorrow, the 15th. It's interesting because all the articles I've read, they all circle back to the tweet that we saw this week from that Twitter user, and just breaking down what the Amazon marketplace NFT marketplace is gonna look like.
Right.
And word is going around that Amazon would launch its own private blockchain, compatible and interoperable with Avalanche, Ethereum, and Chainlink, and has plans of adding more blockchains soon. That's a game changer. It's number one.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. And Amazon NFT Marketplace will reportedly launch in the US first and would be officially called Amazon Digital Marketplace, with a subsequent debut in other parts of the world happening in the future. And the same Twitter user that, we were just talking about also mentioned that Amazon wants to simplify NFT purchases, and you'll be able to pay with fiat using your credit card, which is cool. Because, a lot of people still don't know how to know much about NFTs and getting a digital wallet and, stuff like this. So it's going to make transactions a lot more easier, and hopefully more people then feel inclined to learn a little bit more about, how to, for lack of better words, properly like participate in the space. But yeah, you'll be able to pay using your credit card. You won't need any technical know-how about the blockchain or self-custody wallets. You can buy NFTs with your credit card and get physical products delivered to your doorstep. So it's still staying true to Amazon.
Right.
Delivering right to your doorstep. Yeah.
It's kind of funny though, like just Amazon allowing people to use their credit card, right? Like a lot of, to me, that's just saying like, yo, we don't feel like educating you on the Because at the end of the day, I feel like obviously it's known that a lot of people are lazy and a lot of people just want stuff to be easy for them, right? Like to learn how to open up a digital wallet, to learn how to exchange currency for the currency of the blockchain and to kind of move that from wallet to wallet like that, they feel I'm gonna just assume like it's too cumbersome for us to kind of like educate people. But I'm pretty sure the Web3 native people hate this. Like they
This is also about money. And so, yeah, to your point, Amazon probably is not worried about education. It's like, we're still trying to get this money.
Right.
So we don't have time to educate y'all. So we're going to make this as easy as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get all of y'all. So whether that be people that do know how to use, are in that space, and then people that are not. We're just going to try to get as many of y'all as possible.
I like the idea of interoperability though. Like I feel like it's needed that you have multiple blockchains. It's like just obviously we've seen people just use, Ethereum and how gas fees and all that different things. So giving people an option, I think that's definitely the wave moving forward. So yeah. Let's I guess so. Will it be popping up on the Amazon website, or is it?
And I don't know where we'll be able to find this.
Okay.
I would on their website, but we'll see tomorrow. I'm gonna try to find where it's at tomorrow and see what this even looks like.
Okay.
There's a lot of big time projects that may be popping up on the NFT marketplace, Doodles and all these other, big time projects will be showing up on in Amazon's NFT marketplace. So
yeah,
they going big. They going big, as they should. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to see how this pans out for Amazon.
Yeah.
But on to artificial intelligence. Seems like he said surprise NFTs still exist, to be honest. I know NFTs have gotten a real bad rap.
They have.
But I think it's because just people have been doing it the wrong way. Like it's a lot of like money hungry, like just profit driven incentives going behind NFTs when it should be a lot of educational based kind of just information being provided first before people actually launch the real NFT. And just people are not interested in kind of doing that work, that groundwork that it takes to essentially pull off a successful NFT project, right? Like it's money. Like so it's interesting. I concur. Like
I am interested in seeing how Amazon does though, because we already know Amazon has like 2-day shipping, 1-day ship. Like they have Amazon Prime.
Right.
So just reported last week about Doodles and like that's Pharrell's project and how they're gonna be having physical pieces
right
along with the Doodle, with the NFT that you purchase. So if the Doodles is on this Amazon NFT marketplace, they're going to ship directly to your door.
Right.
ASAP. So like that also has the ability to kind of change the game with just maybe pushing more people to actually buy the NFT to get their items to get them quicker.
Right.
We haven't necessarily seen that either or heard about that. So just interested to see how they utilize their business model they already have and then kind of mesh it together to,
Yeah, phygital is going to be the way. Like providing a physical item that pairs with the digital collectible, that's going to be something that people like. It's funny because me and Shantae talked about this when we entered the space. We were like, yo, we don't just want something that's digital. We want something with it. Right?
Like,
yeah, something that's tangible, essentially. So that you can essentially show off the thing it is that you're that you have, right? Like for me, like we brought MetaPanda, which is basically Ron Artest's project for like he's trying to create one of the biggest NFT basketball communities in the world. And we purchased MetaPanda, and I received a physical jacket with the actual NFT on the back of the jacket. Like it's a spring jacket. So like if you come up to my jacket, you can kind of like scan the QR code and see the NFT on the blockchain. But you also see my physical jacket. So
Right.
I think that is gonna obviously be the wave moving forward, because
it's a great place to kind of we gonna get it right to you.
Yeah, right.
We gonna get it right
in a fast and convenient way. So I'm keeping an eye on you, Amazon. But artificial intelligence, Shantae has become a GPT savant. Okay.
Yo, yeah. Listen, I'm here for using ChatGPT for just like means of inspiration.
Right.
Like get the inspiration and then you can tweak it a bit for certain things. Like, yeah, I've been using ChatGPT now for about 2 weeks for certain projects I've been working on, and it's definitely been helping. And which app do I use? OpenAI. I've been using OpenAI, and that has been helping what I've been doing.
Yeah, but now Google coming in saying like, "Yo, y'all not taking up all of the market."
Yeah, Google is actually they threw out they've been working on a lot of different AI projects. They had a developer conference this past week, and they just, I guess, announced a lot of products. It says billions of users will soon see Google's latest AI language mode. I'm going to just say Palm 2, integrated into over 25 products like Maps, Docs, Gmail, Sheets, and company's chat box Bard. Now, when I was using Google Docs this past week, something did pop up to like try a new AI project, but I just didn't pay much mind to it because I was doing something. But
right,
it has popped up to try. And it says, for example, people will be able to simply type a request such as write a job description into a text box that appears in Google Docs, and the AI language model will generate a text template that users can customize.
Here we go.
You don't need to go into a separate app now to get this, whatever, to put a prompt in. You're just going into the things you typically use anyway, putting the prompt in, and it's going to pop up for you in your Google Doc.
Right.
Google is also opening up access to its ChatGPT competitor Bard, which we did cover a few weeks ago, from a select group in the US and the UK to the general public in over 180 countries. Bard will soon allow people to prompt it using images as well as words.
Okay. So they combining Midjourney.
Yo, it's getting crazy. And then we're gonna talk about what Meta's doing, but it kind of is the same. Like we're gonna get to Meta next, but with Meta, like like you could put in. I saw it today. You could put in a picture of the ocean, and without any sound, there's a picture of the ocean, and then Meta's going to give you the sound of the ocean. It's going to give you the sounds in the background. It's going to give you a whole bunch of stuff that you can use based off the picture that you provide.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. So
artificial intelligence is only going to get, like we all been saying, just more refined. Like, obviously, Google, Bard, that they could have came up with a better name than Bard.
But, I don't know how they got that,
but yeah, Google, ChatGPT, competitor Bard. And now we looking at Mark Zuckerberg announcing image bond. So Shantae just kind of hinted at you being able to prompt an image, and then it kind of spits out at you more things, right?
But because it also taps into like different senses that humans, we have. So hearing and touching and all these things are like pulling from to create this image bind.
Right. No, that's kind of crazy. So so Meta basically has introduced a new open source AI tool called Image Bind, which combines 6 kinds of data, namely images, text, audio, depth, thermal, and IMU data to create multi-sensory content. Wow. Meta says that the new machine learning tool brings us one step closer to training an artificial intelligence and how humans learn from their environments through their senses. Image Bind equips machines with a holistic understanding that connects objects in a photo with how they will sound, their 3D shape, how warm or cold they are, and how they move. This is this is wild.
It's an advancement for sure.
Right. So the AI model works by detecting objects in a photo and giving information about that same photo. For example, Image Bind will provide information on how hot or cold an object in an image will be, what sound it will generate, what its shapes will be, and how it will move. It will also allow content creators to make videos using sounds and movement based on only 1 or 2 kinds of data like text, image, or audio. This is just getting crazy. The AI model is a research prototype at this point, and the research team says it cannot be readily used for real-world applications just yet. But obviously, they plan on doing that in the future. He said, "We about to crack the simulation." Correct. That is, I mean, like when we think of the Matrix, when they're downloading, when Neo is downloading programs, and they're like, we're putting programs on the protocol, right? Like this is what this sounds like to me. Like essentially, I'm gonna give you one thing, and then you're gonna reiterate and spit back something out at me that makes this even more fascinating.
Yeah.
Essentially. So all of these different companies are competing for market share when it comes to artificial intelligence. Obviously, they've been working on this stuff for years, and now it's becoming readily accessible to the public. So, hey, y'all always know I say move with a slight hint of caution and suspicion, but y'all got to understand that this technology is only going to get more improved. It's going to become more refined. And if we don't learn about it now, then obviously we know what happens.
Yeah.
Moving forward, right? Like,
yeah.
So it's in your best interest to just kind of check these things out. I mean, we already seeing AI, like speech recognition. Obviously, when you're typing and then it already suggests the words that you're trying to type, like that's all artificial intelligence already. So like we're seeing it, but we have to understand like all the things that are coming. Like this is really crazy to see that I can just insert an image and
it's gonna give you the sound. It's gonna give you that.
Like, I mean, y'all already seeing the AI music go around, right? Like, they taking Drake's voice, they taking Rihanna's voice, and people are spitting out songs, essentially. So it's about to get really crazy. I can already see this. Like, this is I don't know. It's just incredible to me.
About an influencer created, like generated an AI version of herself, and so she is now doing like speed dating her AI generated self is charging a couple of dollars per minute to go on a date with her, but she's a popular influencer.
Wow.
Yeah, we saw that, the Biggie AI doing, and yeah, NYC State of Mind.
Right.
Yeah, like it's getting interesting. I think that for the music, I think that there's pros and cons to, and we talked about this last week or the week before that. I think that AI has the ability to help or increase artistry. You have young artists that don't necessarily have the money to hire, band members or instruments or purchase instruments or pay to get in the studio.
Right.
So in that regard, I think it will be beneficial. But on the flip side of that, it's definitely going to bring some negative effects to like the copyright side. We already, reported on Universal and these other major labels like having an issue with all of this AI technology taking hold of music and essentially creating music that the actual artist did not create, and having issues with that. So I don't know. It's just two sides of the coin. The influencer thing today, I think that's hilarious. That so she's gonna be making money. But see, that's creative. And it's like, so people are really about to pay to speak to the AI generated woman?
Yes, they are.
On the 8th? So she's monetizing her name, image, and likeness. Right. She's monetizing. That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
But I still think that's a little crazy. But we're gonna see all type of things, and it's gonna like you mentioned, the AI is just gonna keep getting better and better. It's gonna be very difficult to figure out who's who, if this is true, if this is if this is not true, if this is made up. So
yeah, we'll keep you abreast on what's going on. But last story in tech and kind of like Web3 NFT news. We're big art connoisseurs over here. We love art, especially being kind of in Web3. We kind of seen like the emergence of digital art, and graphic designers and stuff like that have kind of command themselves in the space. But this is interesting because this is not new, right? Like so if you're like into fine art, there's a platform that kind of just dropped, and then I'll talk about another platform that I learned about probably 2 years ago, that allows you to purchase art through tokenization, essentially. So this one talks about being able to own a share of an Andy Warhol piece, right? So Freeport, a platform and community gallery for tokenized fine art, is auctioning off Andy Warhol's one of his works as his first ever collection. A 4-piece curated set of original Andy Warhol screen prints is now available from the platform, ranging in price from about $20 to $78 per share, based on the piece. The selection includes original signed screen prints of Warhol's.
I can't hear you.
Hello?
No, I can hear you.
Okay. The selection includes original signed screen prints of Warhol's Marilyn, Double Mickey, Mick Jagger, and Rebel Without a Cause. All are signed by Warhol, and each piece is represented by a 10,000 tokenized shares minted on the Ethereum blockchain, putting the estimated value of each work at between nearly $199,000 and $782,000 a piece. So essentially, they're tokenizing the art so that other people can get in, right? Like investors like us, like, not institutional investors, but what do they call us? I forget the technical term for what credited investors or something like that, like people who are just common lay people. But this is essentially tokenization. Like we talked about how we're able to take something and break it down into pieces and own shares of it. So essentially there's another platform called masterworks.io, and they also offer this opportunity for you to buy fine art that's tokenized. So like 2 years ago when this came out, I actually invested into a Basquiat piece. So I own 25 shares in one of these pieces. I don't know the name of it. I was just mad hype. It was a Basquiat piece. I'm like, all right, Basquiat.
Right.
I'll put 25, I'll buy 25 shares. And at the time, it was like the initial cost was the minimum cost was like $500. So I have $500 equated to 25 shares in a Basquiat piece. So this is how it's going to be moving forward if we can't own a piece ourselves, because $782,000, that's a lot for one piece of art. Like unless you balling, like you ain't ever going to have that piece in your house. So like being able to own a share of a fine art piece, I think that's pretty cool. So yeah.
What makes this a little different as well, and I didn't put this here, was that on the brighter side, we talked about a couple weeks ago how like the FTC and all these other like organizations were like giving AI companies a hard time with, just saying that they need to like really test their platforms before actually,
launching them
product or services available. And for Freeport, they actually got the okay from one of those, like whether that be the FTC or one of these,
right?
The
governing bodies.
Yeah, so which is a good thing. And I just wanted to highlight that because we haven't really seen many platforms get the okay from those type of governing bodies. So it may have consumers feeling a little bit more comfortable with investing in something like that.
Right.
So just wanted to also say that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense because now, like, we're seeing now how the SEC is coming into play with all these different things, right? Like Top Shot, how they got, there's an investigation going on and stuff like that. So it's better to be safe than sorry. So I like that they kind of, went to them first and kind of got the okay before actually, launching the platform. So Freeport and Masterworks, essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
And giving people an opportunity to buy shares in fine art. So check that out. And just 2 things for business of culture. So basically, we always talk about how financial literacy in our communities is a big deal and how we got to make sure that, we continue to educate ourselves and learn these things. So the state of Georgia sent every 2023 high school graduate a financial literacy book.
Yeah, fire. I love it. I love that. Yeah, they helping them prepare to navigate.
It needs to happen.
The real world. This is a different time. I love that.
Facts.
Yeah, it says that last month, all 120,000 students that make up the state's class of 2023 were sent a book titled "The Talk About Money: A Young Adult's Guide to the One Decision That Changes Everything." The book was written by Georgia native Dale Alexander, a longtime employee benefits broker with a certified financial planner designation who in recent years has become an evangelist for teaching young people how to manage their finances before they receive their first full-time paycheck. So I love that they kept it in state too. For somebody that, is certified as doing, financial literacy and just finances in general. So I think this is a great gift to give to graduates, and shouts to Georgia for doing that. And I hope more states do that.
Yeah.
least y'all could do after y'all took all our money. I'm gonna show us how to make it back. It's
right.
like, that's the least y'all could do is give us like a blueprint as to how we can make this money back after we have spent all this money coming to your school. So
right.
Shouts to Georgia. I thought that was fire.
Big fire. Secondly, obviously we've talked about 50 Cent and just how he's
I love 50 Cent.
how
Honestly,
this guy's a mogul.
I love 50 Cent. 50 Cent. He's just about innovation.
Yeah.
And not enough people are giving this man his flowers. Yes, he's a bully, but he had to be a bully to really prepare for like real world stuff. Like now he's in the white collar realm and there's bigger bullies. He's already prepared for this type of atmosphere, this type of environment. So he's really been thriving. And I just wanted to give that man his flowers because, you know, the evolution is crazy. The evolution is crazy.
Correct.
We all know 50's story. And it just goes to show, like, you can do whatever you want to do. Like, he came in doing music, and now he's producing. And, you know, he's a mogul, like Brittany just mentioned. He has a alcoholic beverage. He has a lot of different things. Businessmen are bullies, and that's exactly what it is. Like, Wall Street it's bully ball. And he's prepared for that type of stuff. And that's why he's able to thrive the way he thrives. Like,
yeah,
he does whatever he wants to do.
And he'll knock you out.
He will. He's going against the status quo. He is. Like, and it's so funny watching it. Like, funny in a good way. Because it's 50 Cent.
Right.
It's 50 Cent, but he is doing major business moves. And I think that, and telling our stories.
Yeah.
While So yeah, I'm hyped because you rarely see something like this being done this way.
Facts.
That man is from the hood.
From Queens, boy.
He's from Queens. So it's just really fire to see him really just show us the way. Like, while still remaining himself. He's still very much himself.
Right.
But getting to the bag and then putting other people on that look like us. So
that's a fact.
Just want to get him his flowers. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going on his last, like, I guess, tour.
I'm trying to go.
Right. Yeah, Shantae definitely texted me and was like, yo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see him, right? We were just going over his albums and how he just got no skips.
Brittany knows that years ago when we were still having the, CD players, I listened to that every day. Every day, yo. It was Not Trying was in the headphones heavy.
Yes, it was.
That was the album, but yes, like, I want to see 50 live. I think that'd be fire. This is really his last tour. It'd be super dope. He's supposed to have Busta Rhymes on there. So that's gonna make for a great show.
Fire.
50 really have a lot of skips on his albums, I'm gonna be honest.
Nah. The Massacre was my joint. Like, I really enjoyed The Massacre. But shout out to 50 Cent because he basically just showing us how someone can evolve and grow, right? Yep. Over time. Like, and he's doing it like Shantae said with being his authentic self. Like, he's showing us that we can move with integrity and still be ourselves and still get to the bag. Like, and figuring out. Like, right, still very petty. Very petty. The petty king.
But as far as business, he handles business.
Very well.
And brings other Black people into the mold.
Right.
Like, and that is what it's really about. Like, that is what the takeaway is.
Right.
So now. Yeah. He's trying to buy BET with Kenya Barris and Shaq.
Yeah.
I know a couple months ago, I think there was reports that Tyler Perry was also trying to buy BET. I love the fact that all these black men are, stepping up and trying to take back BET, because I believe it is now owned by them.
Mm-hmm.
So, BET was purchased by Viacom, which later became Paramount in 2000. And they bought it for $2.3 billion, which is crazy. That's a lot of money. Now the company is looking to cut a deal that will allow it to retain a minority ownership stake and secure cash to expand its streaming service. No more Rachel.
Right. Right.
I'm not even about to talk about Rachel. I remember, and not to get off topic, but her Netflix, she has a Netflix documentary. I told you, Brittany.
You did. I didn't see it though.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I don't know if you saw the Netflix documentary, but that was crazy. She named her kids after all black, great black men.
Wow.
Like Frederick Douglass.
Yeah. Look here. I mean, this is nothing new, right? Culture vultures. We were just looking at who owns, because what was it? Rap TV or something?
I think it is Rap TV. Like, black people don't own Rap TV. I think somebody exposed them the other day on social media.
Yeah. Because they put out the stuff about Jamie Foxx and how he's doing bad, but his daughter said that he's actually okay. And he's doing fine. But that's
part of investing, right? You got to do your due diligence. You got to see who owns what business, who's behind the business is important. Yep. Yo, he's funny. But so long story long, I hope that 50 Cent and Shaq and Kenya Barris are able to do it. Yeah. That would be great. I think Diddy is also trying to buy it. So it may be a little bidding war, but I love to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
They do.
He's on the money.
Definitely on the money. On the money in the comments, that's for sure. But yeah, that's all we got for y'all this week. Thank you again. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Happy Mother's.
We appreciate y'all holding it down. But yeah, obviously, like always, please follow us on all social media platforms. Obviously, here on IG, on Twitter, LinkedIn. We got a newsletter. Hit the link in the bio to subscribe to that. And we won't be here next week because, again, I got to go into the field and do some work with the community. But very appreciative of y'all giving us, y'all attention for this little 90 minutes that we have on this Sunday evening. So please just, we appreciate the support, supreme gratitude. So watch out for, us coming back here in 2 weeks. And anything else you got to add, Shantae?
No, just enjoy the weather. It's getting warmer outside.
Please be safe, y'all.
Be safe.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see y'all.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace, y'all. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks.